welcome back to my channel. I am Sleepybug, and today we are going to be playing The Kid at the Back. So, I was gonna wait until I got a little better at editing. My videos got a little bit smoother before I started playing games that were more up to date. I know you guys are currently being like, it's just being shoved down your throats, but I hope it's getting shoved down your throat in a good way. I really like him. I mean, this game. I really like this game. For no reason in specific. I have my safety supports. I didn't show you guys my little frog. Look at him. He smells like peaches. I love him. You guys should help me name him. This one needs a name. This one, I got my first Build-A-Bear. Her name is Blossom. She works on a plant farm. Okay, I'm done stalling. Not me having to brace myself. Okay, this is fine. Everything is fine. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. Day 1, the beloved. The beloved. In class dismissed. By our next meeting, I need a full report of the chosen poem everyone searched. Got it? The classroom was then filled with a series of low yes ma'ams and a few hums. Satisfied, your literature teacher packs up her things and goes out of the classroom. Once she was out, the students went on a series of chitter-chatter. Others stood up, dragging their chairs as they prepared to head out for a lunch break. A slight yawn escaped your lips. Your eyes gazed outside through the classroom's windows. The sky is starting to dim. The sun's rays blocked out the dark clouds looming. You cursed under your breath. It's gonna rain. Just my luck. I didn't bother to bring an umbrella, too. You sighed in irritation as you stood up from your seat. You turned your head towards the person asking for your attention. Your eyes meet with cobalt blue ones. They stare straight into your own orbs, a brow raised as if in slight irritation. She is clearly impatient. Impatient for what? I love her. She looks like a queen. Hopefully she doesn't bully me. Don't bully me, mommy. Okay. Do you hear me? Do you want to come with us for lunch? I mean, I know you don't really eat lunch and spend most of your time somewhere else, but you sure you're not gonna eat? I mean, look at you. Your eye twitched from her words. You have no idea if this was out of concern for your well-being or if she's trying to bring you down. Either way, to you. Pearl gives you a small smile while hand them to go to the library, go to the rooftop. Okay. This first route's gonna be all of what I would do. And I will go to the library. Or the rooftop. Or the library. Or the rooftop. Let's go to the library. Because you'll always find a cute boy in the library. And he'll be literate. I'm going to the library! Not saying anything, she turned around with 4 of her friends following her lead, one of them being Crow. He, however, gave you one last look before heading out with the rest of the group. A sigh of relief escaped your lips as you gathered your thought and things. Next stop, the library. The hallway was rowdy and filled with a mix of sweaty and tired students, some on their way to their next class while the others went to the cafeteria's direction. And of course, there were some who were going in the same direction as you were. The library door is beyond your reach, a smile etched on your face, already smiling at the smell of books. You opened the doors, and you were hit with the smell of warm coffee and books. You went to your usual spot in the library, the one by the large window near the cafe section. The fancy thing about your university is that their library is a library cafe. Ooh, that's fun. Students can get coffee as early in the morning up until the afternoon. It is a huge hit amongst the students, and you can't seem to blame them. Coffee fuels every college student's soul, especially getting work done. You know what? Time for a side rant. I can't have coffee. I can only drink tea. Coffee has too much caffeine and I'll be up for like 3 days. As you made your way towards your usual spot, however, you halted when a person suddenly took a seat on the spot. You groaned. Just great. What should I do about this? Find somewhere else to sit, ask them to move away from your seat, just take the seat beside them. I'll just sit next to them. They can't bite, but I have social anxiety. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by the tail. If you had to let it go, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. I'll just sit by him. At the cost of the comfort of your favorite spot, you don't want to deal with him, nor want to engage in a conversation. You walk towards where he is at, him not minding your presence, and took the seat right next to him. He paid you no mind as you placed your things down and took out your laptop, preparing to write down a head start for your report. It was quiet and your attention was just solely focused on the work before you, while the guy beside you continued on with his book. The sound of him flipping through was oddly comforting. Time passed by, and the next thing you know, there were only a few students left in the library. The guy beside you closed his book, chucked it in his bag, and left the library. You turned to look up at the library's large clock, a few minutes before your next class. You stopped writing down, turned off your laptop, and placed all your things in your bag before heading off to the library as you quickly rushed out to make it to your next class. You just barely made it to your next class. Your professor already on his desk and was slowly bringing out their tools for their lesson for that day. You looked across the room, paintbrushes by the shelves, the week's featured artwork with a few blank canvases hidden in the shelf. The classroom is slowly being filled in with the professor already by the table. You quickly went to your seat. You suddenly felt as if someone was staring at you, drilling holes through the back of your head. You turned around, but saw no one, everyone just simply minding their own business. You shrugged it off and returned your gaze to your professor. I'll be assigning each one with a partner to work with for the upcoming weeks. You and your partner will be doing 3 different artworks that need to be submitted by the deadline. Hope you all got a partner already by this time. Now, I want you to go to your designated partners before I start explaining the task. Crap, you mumbled under your breath. This is what you get for not attending his class last time. You don't have a partner. You panicked as you looked around, trying to spot some loner or an unfortunate soul like you who wasn't able to attend last time. But from the looks of it, it seemed like everyone is already partnered up. Just great. You were forced out of your seat since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for the class. Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, there was one who wasn't moving from his seat. You went to where he was situated. He seems to be reading a book. You let out a small cough to catch his attention. He closed his book and looked up at you. Hi. You seem like you're a bit lost there. So, do you have a partner? No. Well, just your luck then. Me neither. So, do you want to be partners? Sure. Why not? He was a diva boy. I said, me no homie. Sure. Why not? You took the vacant seat right beside him, his book now tucked away and on his desk. Ooh, read. Hold on. I'm the smooth jazz that is happening right now. They said, time to riz this cute emo boy up. He looks sad and depressed. He can be sad and depressed in this. You took the vacant seat right beside him. His book now tucked away, and on his desk is now a pen and a piece of paper, seemingly ready to take notes. Hey, I never got your name. It's not quite important. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of green streaked hair guy. He raised an eyebrow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Solvian Brugmansia. But just call me Sol. Sol. Sol means sun and brightness, right? Your name contradicts you with your whole glam, not gonna lie. Sol means sun and brightness, right? Right? Sol nodded. I guess you can say that. I like it. It's a unique name. Oh no, we're too peppy for him. Thanks. Well, I'm Sleepy Bug. Nice to finally know your name, Sol. Sol nodded with a small smile before returning his attention back to the professor. For this term, I want you and your partner to pass 3 art pieces. The first one would be a portrait of your partner, strictly on paper with charcoal as a medium. You groaned. Boomer art teachers. Your professor then proceeds to give the other 2 tasks before leaving you and the rest of the class to do your task for the day. Everyone started talking with their partners, some taking out their needed materials as the other one poses. You turned to Sol as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketch pad for the class. I gotta tell you right now, Sol, I'm not good at art. I'm not. I can't swim. I can't swim. Everyone starts somewhere. Would you like me to draw you first then? If that's not a problem. Not at all. Oh no, he's cute. I feel like I can't look in his face. Okay. With that, Sol takes out his own sketchbook and pencil, sitting upright and facing you. You straightened up your back, sitting properly, as if you're about to take an ID picture. Is this okay? Just relax your shoulders. You'll be fine. Just be natural. Oh, okay.
These are so yummy. Why is my heart beating like a thermometer's wings?
Your breathing stopped. Sol leaned in, his face a few inches near your face, almost feeling his minty breath. Ooh, he smells like mint. He raised his hand and brushed a strand of hair away from your face and tucked it behind your ear. There. That was in the way. You were sure you were bright as a cherry by now. He didn't say anything else as Sol began his sketch. His eyes hopped from the paper to your face, and you swear every time you meet his gaze, your heartbeat quickens. Be still, my beating heart. And you dealt with that for the rest of class. Before you knew it, the class ended. Everyone was packing their things. Sol, sadly, isn't done with your portrait, which you were dying to see, but he said he was going to keep it a secret until he finished it. You better not make me look funny. What makes you think of that? Why you... I'm kidding. His hand then tried to reach out to your face as if wanting to cup your cheek, but he stopped midway. You're so pretty. Did you say something, Sol? Nothing? Do you have a phone? We should exchange numbers and update each other so we can do the next 2 more tasks. Sol then takes out his own phone and asks for your number. You recite it out as he inputted it into his phone. Let me try to send you a message. You nodded and looked at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Sol's. Sup? You type so differently from how you look. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. You chuckled. He rolled his eyes. You're a good guy, Soul. How about we hang out again tomorrow? By your request, Soul's eyes widened in disbelief. He let out a breath that he was somehow holding before sighing. Of course. I'll see you tomorrow then. He just I love him. He's just a baby. He's so sweet. He's a sweetheart. Not crazy. Not yet. So like until he get crazy, like it's fine. You nodded and walked off, giving him a wave goodbye, him returning with his own small wave. I like that guy. I like this guy. He's cute. As you walk through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. A poster was plastered on the large board. The Hallows Ball. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Hallows Eve. A Halloween party, huh? By the time you arrived to your small apartment, it was already past 5 p.m. You stretched out your arms and let out a small groan. You locked your doors, important, remember that, and decided to just order takeout for dinner. You went to your living room and plopped down on the couch and took out your phone, scrolling through until a ping notified you of a new message. Anyone want to go to the Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome! Are we all a bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement. Much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be a great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a little bit, you know? I agree with Crow. Count me in. Pass. I've got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I'll be doing my leftover task for tonight. Geo has gone offline. I like Geo. Okay, so we're doing the library again, but we're gonna do some different options. Find somewhere else to sit. Last time we did just sit beside him. This time, move. Tell him to move. That's your seat, and no one else is gonna take it away from you and your comfort. You puffed out your chest and went towards the person where your rightful spot should be. He was reading a book, way too focused on it. He didn't notice your presence for a short while. You faked a cough. This seems to catch his attention. You're in my seat. Can I have it back? He looks up from the book he's reading, and you're met with piercing reddish eyes. Eye bags right under it as if he has never gotten a wink of sleep for a week. You twiddle your thumbs, your heart thumping from your chest as you return your gaze, ending in some sort of stare down. He raised an eyebrow, looking around, under the table, on the seat, heck, even under his book before turning back to you. I don't see your name anywhere. A vein tightened. Whoa, so he's trying to be a smart bet, huh? Your cheeks puffed as he gave a small chuckle before closing his book and placing it down on the table. Oh, I don't like that look. I mean, I do like that look, but like, I don't like that look in terms of my safety. Okay. I'll give you your seat back, but what can you offer in exchange? Coffee. Just give me my seat. Something intimate. Who offers something like that? First of all, this is my seat, so I'm not giving you anything. Just give me my seat. I have no time for your games. Just leave me and let me have my seat that you stole. However, he just stared at you. A second passed before returning his attention back to his book. If you really want to sit here, then make me. Either way, I'm already comfortable here, so I'm not leaving. I love him. Anyway, this guy is getting on your nerves. Okay, if he doesn't want to leave, then so be it. Without thinking, you move to him before plopping yourself down on his lap. Oh, we bold! We're bold! This clearly caught him by surprise, for he lets out a sharp gasp, his eyes wide, gripping the book he nearly threw away. Oh no! I love him. I love him. I love him. Okay. You look behind him with a cocky smile before setting down your things on the table. You went on to do your literature report. Unfazed, sitting in this grown man's lap in the middle of a library in the middle of your college. Take notes, guys. This is how you go get a partner. He hasn't said anything for a full minute. His body's stiff. Did he stop breathing too? Relax, will ya? You're making it uncomfortable for me and it's hard to concentrate. The breath he was holding was finally let out. He grumbled under his breath and placed his arm beside yours as he watched you go on with your work. Edgar Allan Poe? Yeah, what about it? What a coincidence. My report is about him too, but not a dream within a dream. What made you choose this poem out of everything he's written? That was a genuine question from him, eyeing you with curiosity. I just think it's interesting, the way he writes it unlike any other writer out there. Plus, I think this poem talks about being uncertain about something, like about life or about someone's feelings. You trolled off, the ache in your heart suddenly burns within your body. He seems to notice your change in demeanor before opening his mouth. I think that's a good topic to make a report on. Your eyes met his, a smile on his face. A chuckle left your lips at his response. Thanks. I'll do my best on it. Oh no, I made him blush. He realized he was staring for quite a while before looking away, a small tint invading his cheeks, avoiding your gaze. He smiled and went on with your report on his lap, him finally relaxing underneath you. How about you? What's the poem you picked from the great Mr. Poe himself? The guy looked up as if thinking before turning to look at you. Have you read Annabel Lee? If my memory serves me right, is it that poem about the love for the woman named Annabel Lee, right? That poem, not gonna lie, has a lot of deep meaning and symbolism to it. Anyone can have multiple interpretations of it. But the main concept, at least in my opinion, is that the speaker loves Annabelle to the point of death and even after death. Pretty much, and honestly, I think it's beautiful. Love? Death. Everything's fine. His body laxed, mind somewhere else, but the small smile and the light on his eyes are apparent before his smile turned into a frown. But people refuse to let them be together, as if fate refused them to die together. What was that? Why do you guys keep doing this to me? What was that? What? Oh no, don't mind me. But yeah, that's my report. Sorry I kind of started rambling on. No, I don't mind. Thanks for sharing. I honestly think it's quite interesting. Also, I didn't think you'd be the type of person to be into romance. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing? Some time passed, and there were only a few more minutes before the bell rings. You packed up your things and stood up from your seat, almost forgetting you made someone sort of a cushion. Hey, sorry for sitting on you like that. That was kind of rude of me. We had all that time to move. We just stayed. I mean, I'm not mad about it because he's very cute and like, she got some cojones to do it. I do not. Maybe. We'll see. No, it's alright. What was that? Nothing. Your next class is art, correct? How did you know? It's my next subject. Who knows, maybe we're classmates or just have different teachers. He lets out a sigh, seemingly disappointed at the realization. He packed up his things, and before heading towards the exit, you followed him on the way out. Oh, this is a cute little route. You faced to your left and saw no one other than Crow, Brittany, and the rest of her group of friends. I see that you spend your time in the library. I did. How's lunch? Brittany's eyes narrowed. You didn't understand why, but the moment your eyes went to her ruined uniform, you kinda guessed what happened. That has got to be the best food fight, but hid behind the tall, stoic male as both Jess and Brittany left. Sometimes I forget how scary she is. Don't you agree, Gio? Get off me. Like Gio. Sometimes you wonder how the group are even friends, but then again, people don't usually approach your friend group. You often wonder, but then again, it's none of your business to pry. Ignore them. So, back to you, Sleepy. Oh right, I actually had to fight someone for my favorite spot in the library. Talk about a pain in the butt. Fred just chuckled, his eyes telling you to go on. He shouldn't have gotten too far. He just left. You turned around, expecting the green-haired, streaked male to be there, but to your surprise, he was already gone. He's fast. How curious. Do you happen to know who they are? No. I never got to ask what his name is. Well, you better get off to your next class. We only have a few minutes before the bell rings. I'll see you soon, Sleepy. You wave him goodbye, Crow going forward with Daryl and Gio behind. You scratched your head before heading towards the other direction and on to your next class as the bell rings, echoing through the hallway. You look around the classroom, trying to look for a familiar boy. There. He's situated at the very back of the classroom. Judging from his look, he's been staring at you for a while. You gave him a small smile and a wave. No, don't smile at me like that. What am I supposed to do? Don't smile at me like that. He smiled back with a small wave of his own. You went to your seat by the window, turning around to face him one more time. His eyes still fixated on you, a hand on his cheek while admiring you. Heat raised up your cheeks from the somewhat dreamy look on his face. Don't stare at me like that. You turned your head back towards the front, focusing on whatever your professor is talking about. He sits at the back. No wonder I don't quite notice him. I'd love to see some of your works then. So, would you like me to draw your portrait first? Sure, wait, let me get my things. You took out your sketch pad and a charcoal pencil as Sol relaxed on his seat. Would you like me to pose, or... maybe do a 3/4 angle pose? Alright. Oh no, I love him! Look, he's so cute! He's so cute! He's so sassy. It's giving, he's serving picture school day photo. He's serving, you can't sit with us. He's serving my son and the love of my life. My daddy, my father. The more you look at him, the more you notice some of his features. His high cheekbones, his lips with 2 piercings, his thick eyebrows, the way his hair settles down on his shoulders, and his reddish-orange eyes. He's actually quite handsome. For a moment, you just stared at his eyes. He noticed and stared back, his pupils dilating before he realized he was staring. Heat rises to his cheeks, so he quickly averted his head away. Hey, eyes on me. Sorry, I'm not used to being stared at for that long. Relax, it's just me. Plus, you'll stare at my boring face after I'm done with your portrait. Your face isn't boring. I actually think you look beautiful. Oh, he's very forward in this one. I can't. He says without even thinking twice. His eyes met yours, half-lidded, and his pupils were wide. Now it's your turn to turn red. You hid your face behind your sketchbook and whacked him with your charcoal pencil. Stop saying stupid stuff and stay still. Sol just chuckled and still his movements, a hand on his chest and a smile on his face. Before you knew it, the bell rang and class was over. You weren't done with your sketch, however. The conversation kept repeating in your mind, and it made it hard for you to concentrate. And like heck, you were going to show it to Sol. Come on, just a peek. It's not done yet. Ooh. You chucked the sketch pad in your bag before Sol would grab a hold of it. Okay, last one. Find somewhere else to sit. You don't want to deal with strangers or anyone at all at this very moment, even if you want to be at your spot at the very moment. Looking around, you decided to find a different seat. Sadly, the only available ones you were able to see were the ones next to the loud gossiping students. You swear out of all the places to be, they have to be in the library. You decide to grab a book to avert your attention to something else. You don't feel like doing your research paper. You went to the fiction section. Tall bookshelves come in your view. Your fingers brushed along the spines of the books. Some old, some new. A thud caused the shelf to wobble a bit, nearly knocking a few books down. You clicked your tongue, trying to take a peek through the bookshelves to see what causes it. Well, look what we have here. It's Creeps McGee. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? So I need you all to know that my only men's voices are like, hey baby, how you doing? Like super low. Or it's like, hey, I'm just an emo boy. Like that, face. And then Bakugo. And different variations of Bakugo. So great. Another bullying situation. You sigh. Sometimes people never grow out of their high school phase. The poor guy didn't say anything as they pinned him to the bookshelf, explaining the few shakes. Just then, he muttered something under his breath. What'd you say? Speak up, freak. I said, F off. Why, you little... You winced, the red head landing a blow on the boy before your eyes caught something glistening from the raven-haired bully's pocket. A pocket knife? How the heck did he get in with that? Let's see if you'll continue being a smart butt once I cut your mouth. Quickly leave the seat or stop. No, we're not leaving. I do want to see both, so we're gonna do both. I'm gonna save right there. Okay. We'll do this one first. You didn't want to get involved with this any longer. Who knows, you might be their next victim if you stay for too long. Forget the book. You can come back and read some other time. You turned and quickly left. The smell of iron invaded your nose. You shook your head and quickly walked back to your table. You little poop, you'll pay for that. What is all this noise? Just in time. From the corner of your eye, you spotted the librarian going into where the bullies were, and a gasp was heard from her lips. "Two of you, to the principal's office, and as for you, Mr. Brugmansia, you stay put as I call for the nurse." You can't help but tune in. More like the librarian's voice was a bit too loud that it reaches your ears. As you pack your stuff, preparing to leave the library, you turned your head, and it was a moment that you wish you didn't. There stood a tall boy in black, his eyes red and dull, with dark eye bags under it. His face is swollen, and a purple bruise on his left cheek. But what made your heart stop, along with your breathing, is the blood on his left hand, a large gash on it. You were so busy staring at his wound that you didn't see him look your way. "Stop looking at me." His gaze started to burn. You looked away, shoving the remaining notes in your bags, zipping it closed, and sprinted out. "Forget the library, I'll just wait back in my classroom for my next class." You looked around the classroom before your eyes landed on something, or rather, someone familiar. Piercing red ones burning through you. You averted your eyes from his gaze, sweat accumulating from your temple. "Crap, it's the guy from the library. I didn't know he had the same art class as me." Without as much sparing him a glance, you quickly took your seat by the window and tried to focus on your professor. Okay, so this is after we introduced ourselves and everything. "Really now, I guess I'm lucky to be partnered with a very skilled person. Can I ask a favor though?" You nodded, signaling for him to go on. "Just don't stare too much at my face. I get embarrassed, especially with this bruise on my face." "Oh, sorry." Don't worry about it. I would love to draw you if it weren't for my only working hand being injured right now." He sighed. You bit your lower lip as you took your sketch pad and pencil, ready to sketch him as he laid back on his chair and relaxed his posture. You can't help but look at the bandage on his face, the purple bruise not fully covering the entire wound. Your eyes then trailed to his wrapped hand, blood seeping out of it. Your stomach doesn't feel good. Actually, you don't feel good at all. And Sol noticed your change in demeanor. The fact that you haven't moved an inch on your sketch pad told him something's wrong. "Hey, you okay?" If you're worried about my face, don't mind it. It's nothing to be worried about." But Sol remained quiet, not sure what to do. The best thing he did was pulling down his sleeve, trying his best to hide his bandaged hand. "There. All better? Sleepy?" You felt fingers under your chin. Next thing you know, you're face to face with Sol. His eyes filled with sorry, and his brows were furrowed in worry. At the sudden intimacy, your heartbeat quickened, and you pulled away. "Sorry. It's alright. You didn't mean to stare." "No, I mean, for leaving you there when you actually needed help." Sol raised a brow as he backed away. "You were there?" "Back in the library. I should have helped you if I knew you were gonna get injured badly. I'm such a coward." You gripped the pencil, guilt filling through your bones on what you could have easily avoided. It maybe helped out. "Hey, it's alright. There was nothing else you could do during that time. Who would have bothered helping me anyway? Say, why don't you make it up to me by finishing that portrait?" Sol tells you with a small smile, trying his best to change the subject and to cheer you up. You said nothing, however, but started slow with the sketch. The guilt is still eating you from the inside. Oh. The bell rang. Sadly, you weren't done with his portrait yet. Quite not sure of how it turned out. "Can I see it?" I'm not done yet, though." "Is that so? Well, I haven't even gotten started with yours. Can you wait until I finish it? I promise it won't take long. Take as much time as you need, Sleepy. You and Sol then packed up. You hurriedly shoved everything in your bag, wanting to leave the room as soon as possible. You rushed out, catching Sol by surprise. He quickly fixed his things as well and tried catching up to you in the hallway. You went out as quickly as you could, but Sol was hot on your trail. He eventually caught up to you and grabbed your wrist with his good hand, stopping you in your tracks, eyes still refusing to look at him. Sol sighed and rubbed the back of his head. Hey, you didn't say anything. Sol realized what he did and let go of your wrist, mumbling a soft sorry under his breath, shoving his hand in his pocket as he bit his lower lip. A slight tint of red invading his ears, but he's still determined to talk to you. We should try to finish our assignment when we can, so I need some way to contact you. You turned to look at him and thought about it before pulling out your phone. This just for the sole purpose of the project. Hey, I'd like for us to be friends. After what you did to him in the library? The apparent shock on your face was enough for him to know exactly what you were thinking about, and tilted his head to the side, his eyes furrowed, and a small smile on his face. Stop thinking about what happened in the library. I forgive you. In fact, I wouldn't forgive myself if you were in the same position. What was that? I would like to be friends, Sleepy. He's funny. He said, nothing. Anyway, yeah. But why? His eyes ever so softened. Why not? A soft smile on his face, trying to calm you down, telling you that everything is alright. The tightness in your chest slowly fades away the more you look at him, reassuring you that you did nothing wrong. So this is back when he was getting shanked, and we're gonna stop them this time. I've gotta stop them. You rushed out as quickly as you can across to where the bullies are. Stop! From the sound of your voice, the bullies halted in their movements and turned to face you. You look at him, clearly knocked down to the floor, a few books at his side. Your eyes met with piercing reddish ones. His eyes narrowed as he turned at the sudden appearance. If you hurt him, I'll scream and alert everyone in the library. By your threat, the bullies clicked their tongues before roughly kicking the guy on the floor and leaving, the raven-haired one shoving your arm on their way. You rubbed the area where the bully shoved you before turning your attention back to the student on the floor. He looks pretty beaten up, a purple bruise forming on his cheek. You went towards him and kneeled down, offering a hand. He said nothing, however, looking at your outreached hand, hesitating for a while, before gripping your wrist and helping him stand up. Now that he's standing at full height, he's actually pretty tall. Probably around 6 feet. Oh god, I'd be like, His red eyes go back and forth around the area, back to you, and on a random corner. We should probably get you to the nurse's office. I'm fine. No need. And with that, he left as quickly as he could. You trailed after him, seeing him pack up his things from what seems to be your usual spot, before exiting the library. Well, at least my usual spot is open now. But I wonder if you're actually feeling alright. From the corner of your eye, you notice something, or rather, someone. It's the guy from the library. He's in the same class as me? Why haven't I noticed him before? Oh, hi, cutie. He looked away. When his eyes met yours, they widened a bit before turning away, his focus now on the book in his hand, a slight tint of red on his pale cheeks. Maybe this is my chance to get to know him. Would you like me to draw you first? I mean, I don't mind. I'm quite confident in my skill of art. you said with a smile on your face. So thought for a bit. The offering was quite tempting, but then he remembered the bandage on his face. He shook his head as to look through his own sketch pad and pencils. No, it's alright. I'd rather draw you for now. You sure? Yes. Why so? Because you're prettier. I mean, I look like crap. I look like crap, and you look really gorgeous, and I feel like... Whoa, slow down. What were you saying? That I'm pretty? Yes. Can I just draw you? I just don't like how I look with this bandage on my face, that's all. God, I feel like I'm about to explode. You just gave a small chuckle before letting him do the honors and draw you instead. You sat up straight and fixed your hair, so Sol started on his sketch. A red tint covering his cheeks up to his ears as he tried his best to hide his blushing face behind a sketch pad. The sound of pencil against paper filled the classroom. You on your seat as Sol looked at you and back to the paper from time to time. Whenever he gazes at you, you swear his eyes go half-lidded, as if in a dreamy daze. But you didn't think much about it. Thank you. What was that? Sol stopped his strokes on the paper and finally locked gazes with you. His sketch pad covers half of his face as he speaks. Thank you, Sleepy, for helping me back in the library. Oh, it's no problem. You were in quite a pickle. No one bothered to help you out. I didn't know what I'd do if I didn't save you there. Well, you saved me the trouble today. After that, Sol said nothing as he looked at you before continuing on. You swear a small tint of pink appeared on his ears as he kept hiding half of his face behind his sketch pad. Small conversations were made then and there as he worked while you kept the air afloat. Sorry, I wasn't able to make it in time. You started, and Sol's eyes just widened at you before shaking his head. Don't worry about it. This type of thing is usual for me. The usual for you? He sighed, as if the thought alone is such a huge task on his hands while he continues on. I'd get in trouble either way. What's the point? Sol then mumbled something under his breath, the grip on his pencil tightening in his grip before sighing and looking at you. And that was enough to calm him down and continue on with his sketch, leaving you dumbfounded. Before you knew it, class was over. Sol, however, is not done with his portrait of you. As his pencil still makes a few final sketch touches on his sketch pad. Just a few more touches. There. Can I see? Of course. Sol hands the sketches to you and you gasp. This looks so good. The details and everything. And he's not even done yet. So this looks amazing. How the heck did you do this? By your compliment, he just rubbed the back of his neck and shrugged a little, a bit embarrassed by your compliment. I'd love to sketch once in a while. I'd often draw random people in the park when I go out. You couldn't help but admire him and his work. Can I keep this? I mean, right after our professor grades it, of course. Sol places a hand under his chin, thinking about it. I'm not sure. I think I could do better than that one. But I really like this one. He just chuckled. Alright, you can have it once I'm done and our professor grades it. But in return, I get to keep the portrait. You'll make of me, alright? I think that's a fair deal. Sol agreed and you cheered. Okay, I'm going to pick some different options. Let's go to y'all, I hate the lunch. I hate the lunchroom. let's go to the rooftop. Yay! A tick of irritation formed on your forehead before huffing out the anger. Actually, I was feeling somewhere else today. So, no thanks. You and your group can go ahead. Brittany raised an eyebrow before shrugging off her shoulders. Suit yourself, then. She snapped her fingers before turning around and heading out with the rest of her friends. In all honesty, you had no idea where to go despite the school being very notorious and having many facilities. You were thankful you got accepted here in the first place through your scholarship. But making friends in this forsaken school is on a whole new level. You sighed and looked out through the classroom's windows at the darkening sky. Maybe the smell and sound of the incoming rain might help ease the burning feeling within you. With a goal in mind, you went to the rooftop. The rooftop is off limits, but they don't often bother to even lock it up, much less barricade it. Once you got in, you took a seat on the pavement under a small shade as droplets of rain slowly descended from the sky. Just then, you heard footsteps to your right. A few mutter of words were heard. Curiosity nagged you. You went to the corner where the sound came from, and there stood what seemed to be a student with bluish-green hair. They were in a call, their steps in a cycle going back and forth as he talks to whoever he was talking to behind his flip phone. His other hand grips his hair, clearly irritated to whoever he is talking to. He flipped his phone closed and let out a sigh. Suddenly, his body froze. The drastic change in his demeanor sent chills down your spine. I can see you, you know. Show yourself. I'll come out. You already got me. I may as well. You slowly inched forward, showing yourself to the strange student. The more you look at his face, the more he seemed familiar, and judging from his facial expression, he was thinking the same thing. How much did you hear? I only heard you curse and nothing else. You answered with honesty. He raised an eyebrow, trying to look at your face. See if you're telling the truth. He sighed and shook his head. Either way, it's rude to eavesdrop on someone's conversation. I told you, I just got here. You furrow your eyebrows. He just chuckled, acting as if it was just silly teasing. You seem familiar. Let me remember. He closed his eyes, his hand on his chin, doing a thinking motion like those cartoon detectives in TV shows. Sleepybug from art class, correct? Why would I lie? I don't fit. This is our good boy route. We're gonna be fine. Nod your head. The student smiled in glee. That's great. That means you'll be willing to help me with something. Wait, what? I'm Hugo, by the way. Hi, Hugo. You see, I won't be able to make it to the next class, and I kind of promised my partner for the class that I'll be there. Hugo chuckled, a sweat dropped from wing on his cheek. You give him a look. Seriously? But I'll make it up to you, I promise. I'm quite close to the student council and happen to know a few connections. I might be able to refer you if you'd like. He says with a wink and a nudge, wanting you to take the offer. That does seem like a good offer. Can help lessen your expenses and have a higher discount on your scholarship. And judging from his look, it doesn't seem like you have a choice. With a sigh, you accept his offer. Hugo gave you a pat on the back, as if you guys have been long friends, before escorting you out to the rooftop with him in tow. The school bell rings, indicating the start of the next class. You sigh as you try to look around, whoever this soul person is, the guy from the rooftop was talking about, until it hit you. I don't even know what this soul guy even looks like. You groaned and took your seat by the window. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of green streaked hair guy. He raised an eyebrow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Solvian Brugmansia. Just call me Sol. So,
we said that his name means brightness.
your name contradicts with your whole glam, not gonna lie. Sol looked away, scratching his cheek. Guess so. Not really the jolly type. Hugo's more of that. Well, I'm sleepy, bud. It's nice to finally know your name, Sol. Sol nodded with a small smile before returning his attention back to the professor. You turned to Sol as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketch pad for the class. I gotta tell you right now, Sol, I'm pretty great at art. If you would give me the honors to draw you, go ahead. At least I could count on you. Was your friend any good at art as well? Friend? Oh yeah. I already had an assigned partner for this class. But he ditched me at the last minute for some important family business. He never tells me though. And I'm not the type to pry either. Does your friend go by the name Hugo perhaps? Yeah, how did you know?
'Cause you said it 5 seconds ago.
I met him during lunch. He was on the rooftop. Typical of him. Sorry you got dragged into his mess by taking his place. You shook your head, telling him that you don't mind one bit. He then keeps talking, as if scolding the green-haired lad back on the rooftop like a little brother. It was actually cute. You slowly took out your sketch pad and started drawing Sol's different expressions as he talks. Would you believe me if I told you that guy is one of the top students in the class? Yet, he is always missing in action. Really now? He doesn't seem like that type of guy. Which part? Being a top student or always missing in action? Sol's brow raised and you shrugged and you kept sketching his face. Sol, however, caught up to what you were doing and stood up from his seat and tried to pry your sketchbook from your hands. Were you drawing this entire time? No. Liar. I thought I was supposed to be the one drawing you, not the other way around. He sat back on his seat and crossed his arms. His eyes narrowed while he bit his lower lip. He said, "Aw, come on, it's not that big of a deal, Sol. Plus, you look really cute." Sol's cheeks turned red and eyes popped wide from your comment and looked away. The grip on his arm tightened, causing his long sleeve to wrinkle. What'd you say? What? You said something? Nothing. You tilt your head to the side. You sure mumble a lot. It's a habit. I'm not used to talking a lot. Keep talking about your friend Hugo. You seem to be fond of him regardless. Sol just sighed and rubbed his nape, his expression relaxing a bit. I owe him a lot, that's all. Enough about Hugo though. Let's continue with our task. Alright. I'll keep and I'm drawing, that's final. Oh. You pouted. Alright, Grumpy. As you draw, you couldn't help but stare at his face and the bandage on his cheek. And judging from how much it covered half of his face, it was a quite large bruise. You fell down the stairs or something? What makes you say that? He asked. You pointed at his wound on his cheek with your pencil. Well, you can say that. Nothing for you to worry about though. You weren't sure if you wanted to pry more into the conversation, much less want to know what exactly happened, because from the way he talks, it doesn't seem like he fell. But that's a story for another day. I hope it gets better soon. Thanks. He's really cute. Sol managed to sketch up your portrait, but was caught up with the bell eventually, not being able to finish on time. He tried to pry off your sketchbook from your hands again, however, trying to get rid of the doodles you made of him during his little rant with his friend. But you chucked your sketchpad into your bag before he could get his hands on it. Sol eventually gave up and started packing as well. You and him went to the exit door of the classroom and continued on in the hallway. Anyone want to go to the Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome. Aren't we a bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement, much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be a great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a bit, you know? I agree with Crow. Count me in. Pass. I've got more important things to do than that party. Now will you excuse me? I'll be doing my leftover task for tonight. Geo has gone offline. Sheesh. A stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Sleepy? Me? You joining in? It'll be fun. You were honestly surprised they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar through your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the near future, or plans at all. You'd like to just spend your time in your apartment alone. Same. I mean, sure. That's great to hear. Crow seemed happy about it. You giggled. This also reminds you of something. Or rather, someone. Opening another chat, you tapped in Soul's newly added contact and sent him a message by sending the image of the same poster Daryl sent. A Halloween party? Hosted by the school? Yeah! Not quite into parties. Aww. Well, that's alright. Just asking, that's all. Still is typing. Wait. If you're coming, then I'm coming as well. Really? Really? That was easy. Do you plan on dressing up? I don't know. Do you? I mean, it's a costume party, so why not? I'll try to think of something then. I love him. You swear you can feel the smile behind those words. With a quick word of goodbye, you set your phone down when you heard your doorbell. That must be the food delivery. Afterwards, you ate your dinner and prepared yourself for bed. The thought of today and the events that occurred, and meeting Soul, of course. It's a wonder how I never met him despite sharing a single class with him. Oh well. You entered your bed, letting out a big yawn as you stretched your body. You turned to your laundry, slowly piling up, and scratch your head. I'll probably do laundry tomorrow, but for now? You plopped yourself on the soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you close your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And this maiden, she lived with no other thoughts than to love and be loved by me. The one who loves me. I was a child, she was a child, in the kingdom by the sea. Okay, door waiting for you. You caught up with them and met eyes with Crow again. There's something in his gaze that sent a shiver down your spine. You quickly avert your eyes once you, with an orange uniform, seem to be grabbing school lunch. Meanwhile, the two guys with them have their own packed lunch, about to head off to find a seat for the group. You decide that I'ma save, that's what I'm gonna decide. Wee! Wee! Let's buy lunch first. No, I'll buy. Alright then. Daryl, GL, go find us some seats while we line up. The jock you assumed was named Daryl waved Brittany away and turned around with the other male named Geo to find a seat, his arm wrapped around his shoulder while Geo was clearly a bit annoyed at the gesture. I like Geo. Come on, Jess, let's get in line. Yes, of course. You go first, Brittany. The girl Brittany called out, you guessed it, was Jess, followed her behind. Let's get in line before more people start piling up. We don't want to get the bad stuff for lunch. You shuddered at the thought, remembering the leftovers from the school cafeteria. You nodded and went with Crow and got in line with the rest of the students. In line, Crow turned his attention back to you. I'm glad you were able to come hang out with us, Sleepy, even if it's most of the time. No problem. I actually kind of regret coming. I mean, they haven't done anything. No problem, Crow. Maybe I just need a change of scenery, that's all. Crow just chuckled before picking his food behind the counter, paying for it afterwards as you did the same. You weren't really that hungry, and just bought a sandwich and a juice that you'd regularly buy whenever you find the time to spend your lunch break here. Brittany was already waiting for the rest of you, tray in hand. Once everyone got their food, Brittany turned her heel and walked towards where Daryl and Gio were sitting. Move your butt aside, Daryl. A loud gasp escaped through Brittany's lips, her mouth wide in shock, with the food that was on her tray now splattered across her white uniform. Rest in peace, girl. Brittany! Oops, sorry about that. You should have watched where you were going there. Brittany's eyes met with the person responsible. A group of girls, definitely bullies, and judging from Brittany's face filled with rage, they seemed to know each other. Britt, are you alright? We should get yourself You freaking butthole. This is my only clean uniform. How freaking dare you? Oh, look at Miss Claire all flared up. Careful there, sweetie. You'll get wrinkles. It's not like you're all ugly already. By ugly, this is getting ugly quite fast. Everyone's gazes were on the group of girls, some taking out their phones, either taking pictures or starting to record. Crow tried to come in between them to stop the fight, but he wasn't fast enough. Splat! Oh no. Next thing we know, another loud gasp was heard. A wide smile was on Brittany's face, food on the mean girl's white uniform as well. Jess's face filled with shock as the food on her tray was gone. Take that, poop stain. I feel like I would be more offended in being called a poop stain than a swear stain. Anyway. How dare you? Daryl, no. Food fight! Next thing everyone knows, the cafeteria is filled with rowdy students and food flying across the area. Are those trays? The soundtrack is good. Okay. A sudden wave of pain was felt on your head, your whole face. And the last thing you saw was Crow calling out your name before passing out. God. Where am I? Oh, you're awake. Thank goodness. Crow? You tried to sit up, but the sudden pain that went through your head stopped you. Crow gently pushed you back down on what seems to be a bed before taking a seat beside you. The nurse already bandaged your head. Don't push yourself. What happened? Well, after Daryl started that mess of a food fight, the principal was called in to stop it. Daryl got lucky enough to escape what he did. Gio was nowhere to be seen. As for Brittany, what about her? Well, Jess helped her out to grab a new uniform from the principal's office. Then why does my head hurt so much? Someone somehow threw a tray and you were unfortunate enough to get hit by it. Thankfully, I got you out of there before I got ugly. Thanks, Crow. I owe you one. Don't mention it. Anyway, it's 1:45 in the afternoon. I should probably head out to my next class. You should stay here until the nurse gets back. You'll be alright here alone, right? No. Yes, you can go ahead. You sure? Yes, I'll be fine, Crow. You've done enough for me today. You gave him a small smile, but he did not return it. Crow then squeezed your hand, quite hesitant to let you go. Eventually, he loosened his grip, stood up, and walked towards the exit. You miss it as soon as he lets go, but before he can leave, he turned around and gave you a small smile before closing the door of the infirmary. You groaned and laid back down on the bed, feeling the bandage on your head. At least the pain is slowly dying a bit. Hope it didn't leave a mark on my head. Just then, you heard the door open, the nurse's voice echoing through the room as the click of her heels got louder as she drew closer. Look at him. Anyway, the school nurse entered, and following her was a tall student dressed in black. He seems to be holding onto his left hand, and there you can clearly see a streak of red flowing. You should be thankful you didn't cut a vein. How were you able to get past with that pocket knife in the first place? The nurse sighed. It seemed like she got her hands full with another student. The latter, however, didn't say anything, but he let out a small hiss when the nurse dabbed an antibacterial on his wound. You sat up slowly, careful to not hit your head on anything else before sitting up, and looked at the student and the nurse. Your eyes meet with reddish-orange ones as the nurse finishes up wrapping around his wound. A blotch of red slowly seeping out and staining the once white bandage. His eyes are still on you. Ah, you're finally awake, Miss Bug. The nurse finally noticed your presence. She took out some painkillers from one of the cabinets and gave some to you. Take these to lessen the pain. You both are free to get back to your class, or you can stay here and recover. I'll go back. Thanks for patching me up, nurse. The boy said before heading out the infirmary. The nurse just shook her head before returning her attention to you. You can take some extra pills, but don't take too much. You can come back here if you ever feel anything wrong, Miss Bug. Take care now. You thanked the nurse before heading out of the infirmary and onto your next class. You looked around the classroom before your eyes landed on a familiar red ones. It's the guy from the clinic. How come I just noticed his presence just now? Has he always been part of the same art class as me? And judging from his face, the bandage around his left hand doesn't seem to be much of a problem to him. You shook your head and took your seat. You turned to Sol as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketch pad for the class. I gotta tell you right now, Sol, I'm pretty great at art. Manifesting, we're manifesting. Oh, then surprise me. Sorry I can't draw you back because this darn injury. Don't worry about it. You're excused, and I don't want you to stress your hand over this. You took out your sketch pad and your pencil and worked with his portrait with determination, his eyes never leaving your face. You would often look up to see his features, taking in every note of every curve. A blush occasionally invades his cheeks as he tries his best not to look away while you work. While you were sketching up, you can't help but avert your eyes on his bandaged hand from time to time. Seems you're quite curious to know what happened to this, huh? And you weren't slick with it either. You froze when he caught you red-handed, just like the red seeping out of his hand. You stopped drawing. Sorry, was that rude of me? It's fine. This is just usual for me. I've gotten worse injuries than this. Oh no, baby! You raised your brow at that. Not the worst? If you don't mind me asking, what happened? He paused and averted his eyes, but opened up to speak. Nothing much. Was minding my own business. Got assaulted. Had to defend myself. He talked as if it was another normal Monday for him. Your eyes furrowed. He noticed and just chuckled. No need to worry about me. All that matters is that I'm still here. B. You didn't say anything, however. Continuing on with the drawing, your movement slow and now refusing to look at his injured hand. This school is way more messed up than I thought it would be. The bell rang, and sadly you weren't done with his portrait yet. Can I see it? Wait! I'm not finished yet. I'll show it to you once I'm done with it. Plus, you still need to draw me once your injury gets better. You closed your sketchbook and fixed your things. Sol shrugged and agreed as he fixed his own things. The rest of the class went out of the classroom along with you and Sol as you continued on in the hallway. Okay, I wanted to go and get all of them, so I'm getting all of them. I'm glad you were able to hang out with us, Sleepy. Even if it's most of the time. I actually kind of regret coming because I had such anxiety. Oh, I apologize for even suggesting. Oh crap, did I accidentally say that out loud? He saw your slight distress, but his face says not to worry about it. How typical of him, just being nice for me. You feel bad now. Great. Okay, so this time I packed my lunch. I packed my own lunch. Alright then, let's go, Jess. She went to line up with the rest of the students, the girl with glasses following up behind her. You really need to recall who are the friends you hang out with again. The girl with glasses, as you recall when Brittany mentioned her name, was Jess. She's a big nerd and has a fondness of an idol named... What was his name again? Aries? Whatever. You honestly don't care. She's really quiet and attached to the hip towards Brittany, like a dog. It's pathetic. You wonder why. I'll go line up as well. You'll be fine with those two? Bro asked you with concern, laced in his tone. You face the other two boys. One clearly talking the other's male's ear off, while the other doesn't really give a darn, seeming to look around the cafeteria and search for something. You nod your head to Crow, and he gives you a pat on the head, a blush making its way to your cheeks before he went along with Brittany and Jess. You then head off to where the two guys are, already seated at the table while bringing out their own packed lunch. Your food always looks so good, Gio. The jock beside him somehow just remembered your presence on the table and turned his head towards you. Both on what it is and if you mind sharing it with me. Unlike this guy besides me. Gio only rolled his eyes when the jock nudged his shoulder, letting out an irritated groan. They're enemies to lovers. They're boyfriends. Don't bother with Daryl. He'll take your food either way, even if you did give him some. Hey now. Hey now. While the two bicker on, you just gave a small chuckle and ate your packed lunch. In the corner of your eye, you notice Brittany, Jess, and Crow, with their lunch trays in hand, heading towards to where the three of you are sitting. Alright, cuties, I am getting a little sleepy and tired. I need a juice box, and I need to take my blankie and go night-night. Well, that was the day one of The Kid at the Back. I will be filming a day 2 soon, because I have a little crush on Sol, and also Gio, which I don't think he gets her out, but he's still very cute, and I enjoy him. I feel like Hugo. I'm excited to learn more about Hugo. But yes, this is really fun. I hope you come back and we can spend more time together, getting cozy, getting sleepy, getting all warm and toasty, flirting with semi-sane boys in video games. But I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I'll see you next time. Bye.